Welcome to the Mom It's My Life podcast. This episode features adults using adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Carl's not feeling.
Satan, shut the fuck up.
Hello! And welcome to the last episode of season 1 of
Mom, It's My Life!
So spooky.
Happy Halloween, y'all.
Scream or frightmare.
Is
Hell
right.
yeah, it's real and it's alive.
Stream or die.
Yeah,
Hey.
man.
We're Bronnie.
Yeah, hey, I'm Bronnie.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Chris.
So if you haven't heard of our music, go listen to it on Spotify under the name Bronnie. How do you spell it, Pete?
Bronnie.
Well done!
Thank you, that was flawless.
Hell yeah.
And stream our new EP, Dream On Nightmare.
Yeah.
Stream
Let
or...
us know what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you hate it, don't worry. You won't have a horse's head in your bed tomorrow.
You'll have a pig's head. Haha. So, last week we spoke about...
Ghost stories. Well, not ghost stories. Well, yeah, ghost stories.
Yeah, ghost stories.
Ghost
That's exactly
hauntings.
True, yeah.
Hauntings.
Hauntings. Ooh. Got a very good reception of you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you all for listening.
In
We
fact,
were
head
really
over to our Mom It's Our Life. Mom It's Our Life. Mom It's Our Life. Mom It's My Life Instagram. We have posted some photos of stories that we were chatting about last week, and we will be doing that this week. Well, actually, no, not the photos of dead.
Yeah,
shame,
maybe
but
some.
like if it's a house.
And speaking of gory photos, we should preface this episode with
A disclaimer.
There's going to be gore, there's going to be guts and blood and nasty things that come along with the violent crimes we're going to be discussing.
A lot of sensitive things that you guys might not don't feel obliged to listen to this.
We're
just
not
'cause
gonna,
it's us and we're really good.
Yeah,
but
we're not going to be like egregious and go into the like really horrible stuff in too much detail, but there is...
I might.
Yeah, okay.
Don't eat your mac and cheese whilst you
Yeah, your vegan mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Don't eat your chili con carne.
Without carne.
No.
Yeah. So disclaimer: if any of this you feel is too sensitive for your taste, you don't have to listen.
Don't
No.
Viewer or listener discretion is advised.
Just listen to it volume low. Help us get that stream.
Yeah, absolutely. So, without further ado,
Who was going first?
Chris, why don't you go first?
all right, I'll go first. So, I had a story and I thought it was a bit too dark, so I've changed my story. I've got a different story.
Always
So-
changing his story. aren't you?
Bloody hell.
My story is about the Black Dahlia.
Ooh!
Interesting.
I was going to cover this one.
So I actually haven't read up much about it, but I found an article that I like skim read.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I know.
Okay, enough.
I know that this article has enough to make the story.
He's going to be
decent.
reading it like...
So I'm about to surprise myself.
I'm really excited to hear
because I've heard about it, but I've never read into
Yeah.
it.
Have you seen the photo?
Yes,
I haven't.
The photos.
No.
that's one of them.
Let's see.
Covered up the blanket.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, I can get you hooked up with more.
But that's the photo with the blanket is the one we're going to put on our Instagram because we're not going to put the
Yes.
gory one.
Yeah, the only thing I really know about this is from season 1 of American Horror Story.
Yes, this is...
So is this? I didn't know that it was.
So this...
Right.
So it's... Yeah, so it's an actress who was in it and
Right.
that's what happened. So
Oh, right,
American Horror
okay.
Story cover that. Also, American Horror Story cover the one I'm talking about as well.
Crazy.
They are on it!
Not my one.
Or we're late to the party.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Black Dahlia. So, on January the 15th, 1947, the dismembered body of a woman was discovered in a vacant lot in Leimert Park, Los Angeles. Don't know why I said it like that. but I did.
Los Angeles. You're so American.
So surreal was the scene that the woman who discovered the body, Betty Bersinger, initially thought she had come across a severed mannequin. The body was completely drained of blood and had seemingly been washed, and the face had been slashed from mouth to ear.
Like a smile? Like
the
a Joker?
Yeah, crazy.
Oh.
The upper and lower parts of the body were placed a foot away from each other and were posed. The hands were placed over the head, the elbows bent and the legs spread. The intestines were tucked underneath the buttocks.
Oh, good God.
So, after the authorities were called, the body was identified as Elizabeth Short, later known as the Black Dahlia.
Ooh, I wonder how she got the name.
I might say.
Hey.
If it doesn't, you can
Then
do your own
Google.
research, kids. A 22-year-old aspiring actress who had been dating a married salesman.
Oh, that's so... Oh, so I wonder how.
Yeah, if you swipe right on the
Maybe.
photo of her that we will post on the Instagram will post a photo of her. Mm-hmm. So, because she got arrested in 1943 for underage drinking. So we'll post a
What a rebel, that would have been
me.
me.
What a rebel. So 6 days after the gruesome discovery on January the 21st, the editor of the Los Angeles Exclaimer, James Richardson, received an anonymous call. The caller told Richardson to expect souvenirs. That's it, souvenirs.
That's a bit.
Yeah. On January the 24th, a curious envelope was discovered by a US Postal Service worker. The envelope was addressed to the Los Angeles Exclaimer and the other Los Angeles papers. The letter contained Short's birth certificate, photos, and other personal belongings.
So that must have been on her.
No, he clearly... Well, maybe, but maybe he actually, had this... vendetta against her and planned it, or I say he. I have no idea.
Yeah, what really creeps me out is her body was totally drained of blood.
Yeah, that's the crazy. But this must have clearly had happened way in advance of
the person
body being
who
put there.
They obviously know what they were doing.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
But we might find out more.
Ooh.
On January the 26th, another letter came in. It read, "Here it is, turning in wed. January the 29th, 10 a.m. I had my fun at police. Black Dahlia Avenger." The note included the location where the killer would supposedly show up. The police waited patiently, but to their dismay, the killer never showed. That same day, another note was sent. "Have changed my mind. You would not give me the square detail. Dahlia killing was justified."
Oh.
Strange.
Yeah.
That's insane how it's still...
Yeah.
A murder mystery. That is...
Yeah.
Over the years, the police have questioned countless suspects and self-confessed Black Dahlia killers. However, to this day, the Black Dahlia's murder has not been found and remains one of the most baffling unsolved murder cases in history.
Gosh.
That's insane.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep.
And it was last week, wasn't it? We were all talking about, is it Eliza Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she stayed in this hotel called the Cecil Hotel in LA, and there's been countless deaths. It was like one death every year, and it's haunted. And you'll see, if you type in on YouTube, you'll see the Eliza Lamb
it's super
CCTV
weird.
when she's going in and out the lift. And so she died in that hotel, but a week before, that actress who got chopped in half, she stayed at that same hotel.
Elizabeth
Shaw, yeah. So it's like kind of not a myth, like it's a story thing that if you kind of stay there, something bad will happen, and pretty crazy.
Scary stuff, man.
So, a couple of facts about this. So there was no blood found at the scene. The FBI identified Short with fingerprints and a proto-fax machine.
Eh?
I don't know what that is.
Neither do I. In order to identify the body, Los Angeles Police Department pulled fingerprints off the corpse, which it sent to the FBI through a device called a sound photo. A forerunner to the fax machine. About an hour later, the FBI got a hit. No.
Oh, wow.
So that must have been one of the first times that...
What year was this?
This was in 19...
Wait, I want to guess.
Ooh.
Oh, right, okay.
What year do you reckon?
1940? No, 1920.
Didn't I say this at the beginning?
No,
I did.
Is it 20s? 30s?
Later.
20s?
What's your guess? Make a guess.
42.
42.
I actually thought 42.
Spirit Guide.
Spirit Guide? Oh, dude. 48.
Oh, it was 47.
Oh,
close,
man.
but no cigar. So, have you never heard that phrase?
No.
Close
I had,
but no cigar.
No, I've heard close but no go.
Close but no cigars, a good phrase.
Close but no go.
I've never heard
never
anyone
heard that.
say
Maybe
that.
I just made it up.
Close but no cigar.
Yeah,
right,
that's
okay.
a common saying.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going mad. Fair. So the Black Dahlia nickname has murky origins. Here we go. Here's about the nickname. So there are a number of competing theories about who exactly coined Short's famous moniker.
What?
I assume that means nickname.
Yeah.
Some say it was a media invention, while others claim Short's friend had a nickname, Black Dahlia, for her. But most accounts pin the inspiration from a film noir written by Raymond Chandler that hit theaters 1 year before the murder, The The Black Dahlia, starring Veronica Lake.
Veronica
Why the
Lake?
FBI switched from blue to black. The FBI cites a rumour that Short wore lots of black clothing, but some reports point to her dark hair colour instead. So, there you go.
Okay.
Some linked the case to the Cleveland Torso murders. When Short's death became national news, police officer in Cleveland felt awful sense of deja vu. Between 1934 and 1938, a serial killer had terrorised their city, claiming 12 victims, all of whom were grotesquely dismembered. Some theorise that Ohio's serial killer and Short's murder could be the same person.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the perpetrator of those came to known as the Cleveland Torso murderers.
Yes.
So look those up.
Whoever it was killed 12 people.
I'm going to keep skipping these real quick, but it was also connected to a lipstick murder. You can look that one up.
Oh, I've heard of that.
So, and
they'd write...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and many people confessed to the crime.
You get so many creepy people like that just to get...
Yeah. So,
your name out.
guess how many people
I'd
confessed to this?
over 100.
Oh my god. I have no idea.
Closest wins.
63.
You're going 63.
Over 100.
Yeah, that's not a number.
101. Dalmatian.
500 cases of people saying it was them. Yeah.
That's insane.
The phony claims came from housewives, clergy, soldiers, drunk ramblers, and much later on pranksters who weren't even alive when Short's death was brutally taken.
Oh, do you want to hear a really sad fact?
So no charge. Pete, yeah, there you go.
Make it
501.
Yeah.
No charges were
502.
filed. And George Hodel is one of the most notorious suspects. He was a physician who ran a venereal disease clinic in LA in the 40s. Hodel was on a list of 6 primary suspects, and the LAPD even bugged his home during the investigation.
Wow.
But Hodel, who died in 1999, gained more recent notoriety when his son, Steve Hodel, accused him of killing Short in the 2003 best-selling book Black Dahlia Avenger, The True Story.
Ooh.
There we go.
I think that speaks words if your own son.
Yeah, he says his father's handwriting matched the letters to the police that were from the killer, supposedly. And there was photos of a woman who resembled Short in his father's personal photo album.
Hey. Oh, do you want to know something really sad? So, obviously it got out in the news. So a load of reporters flew her mum over, her mum not knowing that she's died, saying, oh, we're going to do a big interview about your daughter's success, got loads of facts about her, and at the end went, oh yeah, your daughter's died.
Oh my god.
So they could be the first to have all the information so everyone would buy.
Horrible.
I know.
It's awful.
That's actually dreadful. Jesus Christ.
So others think it was a bellhop. So for those UK people
bellboy
who doesn't know what a bellhop is, the dudes at the hotel who
might be the Cecil
carrier
Hotel.
bags and all that nonsense.
That doesn't add up to me. It seems like it was someone with like medical, or at least
It has
like,
to be, surely. If you're gonna cut a body in half and like drain it of blood and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff,
like I don't know, like unless they had a big hobby on the side, and
Yeah.
I'm actually like, you know, there's no YouTube, you can't use
Yeah.
how to
in the
drain
40s.
a body of blood in 1947.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone thought it was this guy, P.U. Eatwell, pardon me, who argued his guilt in the book The Black Dahlia Red Rose. Dylan was a bellhop, writer, and mortician's assistant.
Ooh.
That would do it.
That would
do it. Yeah, he seemed to know a surprising amount about the details about Short's murder when the LAPD hauled him in for questioning. He was eventually let go thanks to a dirty cop, according to Eatwell. But some of the detectives investigating the case never forgot him.
That's interesting, that. Wow. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a good story.
That is.
Yeah, there we go.
Well done, Christopher.
I've got one last thing.
Ooh.
So in 2018, don't know why I wrote like that. 2018,
Last
so
year.
last year, Buzz Williams, a retired police officer with California's Long Beach Police Department, and the son of Richard F. Williams, part of the LAPD's gangster squad, told Rolling Stone magazine, "My dad thought Leslie Dillon was the killer, and that other cops suspected that Dylan was, at the very least, an accomplice. So they had leads, but they never pursued them to charges.
That's tough.
There we go.
Wow.
So that is the story of the Black Dahlia.
Hey?
That's really interesting.
Girl who was cut in half.
And the person's
Crazy.
probably dead who killed her.
You'd
You
have thought.
know?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
I mean, well, yeah.
Old.
It'd be real old.
Yeah.
Real old. But crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Insane.
If they were 20 at the time they committed the murder, they'd be 100 now, right?
47. So, no.
No.
In the 90s.
They'd be 90, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Or 96 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking...
Close.
They'd be old.
They'd be old, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd confess now, wouldn't you? They'd probably be like,
Yeah.
well, you can't move.
For the bounce.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Alright,
All
Peter,
right.
get
Yeah,
me.
let me take you on a story.
On a story.
Take you on a story.
Oh, I can't wait to go on a story.
Love it. I love going on a story.
So this guy he's kind of a bit infamous. He's still alive.
Ooh.
He committed his crimes that I'm going to discuss. Everyone knows he did it, but he was never charged.
What?
He was. Yeah, we'll get into the details.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's
Crazy.
really interesting. So this is about a man named Issei Sagawa
Ooh.
from Japan. He was, I don't know when he was born, but
A long time ago.
It was, I guess, like mid
Is he the dude that was born really small?
He is. He's a really short man.
I listened to that podcast. I literally
Can
listened
you
to that
take
story.
that can off there? Because
Yeah.
I don't want you to knock it all over
I
my
literally listened to
laptop.
that story yesterday.
Oh, there you go.
In the morning.
Well,
Very cool.
this is going to be a bit of a repeat for you. Maybe
It's a
you
very
can
good
chime in
one.
with
This is
some more
very
info.
good.
Well, I'm very excited to hear
He
it.
was born in 1949. He was prematurely born and apparently could fit inside the palm of his father's hand when he was born.
Aww.
I mean, don't feel too much sympathy for this dude, or like a bit empathy.
As a child.
Yeah. And
That is insane how he survived then. If he can,
Yeah,
that's
a real tiny. Or
very-
maybe his dad was like Andre the Giant sized.
Yeah.
hand.
maybe it's the Green
Fit
Giant.
into Andre the Giant.
So
hand.
he never grew past 5 foot and has always, like, people describe him as having like a head that didn't really fit his body. It was always too big. So he was
Right.
quite like a distinctive looking
Right.
person.
Yeah.
And still is like, he does a lot of like media interviews and he's been in films and books. He's written books.
Right.
Wow.
He's a very like prominent character. And he is a cannibal. He likes to eat people. His first arrest came at 23 when in Tokyo he'd been stalking like a tall German woman for a while and one night decided to break into her apartment. This was when he was 23 and police arrested him. Like, she apparently woke up when he wasn't.
Right.
Well, one story I read said she woke up and he ran away. Another one says he managed to take a bite of flesh. I don't know, but
Who knows?
Don't know. But
Nice.
But anyway, when the police
Yum.
arrested her, they were going to try him for attempted rape. But
Right.
not realising that actually he wanted to just eat this woman. There were no sort of
That's
sexual,
so odd.
or at least that it doesn't appear there were any sort of sexual attempts on it. But he always said that he was fascinated and obsessed with like tall Western women,
Right.
particularly like Scandinavian,
Yeah.
Right.
German sort of women. So when he was a really intelligent guy, very much into his reading, spent a lot of time, very academically gifted. And he went to study literature in, I think it was Paris. It was in France anyway. Yeah, and while he was there, he met and befriended a woman named Renée Hartevelt.
Rennie Hartevelt.
Bless
Renée
me.
Hartevelt.
Renee Hartevelt.
Yeah, a Dutch woman.
Renee.
They sort of got chatted. They were on the same course. They'd kind of befriended each other.
How old is he at this point?
This is 1981.
So he must be like 30, 40. Or...
He was 32.
32.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he was 32 when he went to Paris,
Right.
so he's around that age. And so she would come over and help him with languages. She was trying to teach him German,
Right.
and so on. He paid for her language lessons as well.
Right.
So all seemed like it was all going fine, and then
Yeah.
one day he must have just decided this was the day. So he invited her over, and when she arrived, he shot her 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
In the first one in the back of the neck. He then claims he fainted after shooting her.
Right.
But when he woke up, he had sex with the corpse.
Oh!
Yeah.
Bit of necrophilia in there.
A bit of necrophilia in there, yeah. And then started to dismember and eat her.
Oh my god.
So over the next 3 days, he ate over 15 pounds of her flesh.
Oh my
Mate.
god.
Yeah. And then in a park nearby the house, the Bois de Boulogne.
Nice.
I guess.
Good
That's
accent.
Probably
Rate
dreadfully
that.
pronounced. I'm really sorry. It's apparently it's a bit of a rough area, so it's says here that you tend to get street walking types, drug dealers, pimps,
Right.
prostitutes, criminals.
The ghetto.
Yeah, so it was it wasn't too weird, but this 5 foot tall Japanese bloke kind of stood
Walking
out.
around.
He wasn't like the normal type of person, and he got seen carrying suitcases back and forth.
Right.
And he was trying to dispose of the limbs and the other
Yeah.
body parts in the lake there.
The bits that weren't edible.
Yeah, and but he clocked himself that he was obvious, so at some point he just gave up and just went and sat at home and waited to be arrested, which of course he was.
Right.
But when he was tried in Paris or in France, he was held in custody for 2 years, but he was deemed legally insane, so he was deported back to Japan. And when he was in Japan, he was declared sane by psychologists and signed himself out of the mental institute.
So he was just roaming the streets.
Totally avoided.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and as far as
international waters.
Yeah, as far as we know, he's never done anything subsequently, and he's been a very prominent public figure, as I say. He's been in books, he's been in movies, he's done interviews with lots of major publications. He's very open about his cannibalism, and
that's crazy.
It's a pretty mad.
I saw that he actually has a thing saying if there's any beautiful young ladies who would like me to.
I've got the full quote here. So he said, "I would like to invite any woman who wants to kill me to step forwards. Beautiful women only. That would be the ideal way for me to die. Maybe they can shoot me up with morphine so that I don't feel any pain. Although I guess the pain is part of the pleasure. Dying instantly is boring, so I want to savor the process of being killed. An alternative would be to drown in female saliva. Wouldn't that be a wonderful way to go, to be covered all over in a woman's spit? If I could die drowning in it, that would be my ultimate dream come true. I'm a cowardly man who killed another person, yet I can't face killing myself, so I guess dying at the hands of a woman would be my way to redemption."
I mean, that's kind of stupidly dark, but stupidly fair play.
Yeah, he knows what he likes, I guess.
That's just...
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude's
he's just allowed to roam the streets. So he was in movies, was that in Japan or
Interpol haven't
Okay.
gone nuts on that?
So I take it he's not allowed back into the US.
Oh, I imagine
it was never
France.
in the US.
He was never in the US.
Oh,
France,
right.
Not Paris, Texas. Yeah,
Paris. So he's not allowed back in Europe or anywhere.
I don't see why not. He was never charged with anything. So
but surely he got charged with a murder in France.
Let me see. He was.
Because surely that case is still open. Because if it is, surely
it's that's
surely
death.
He was
Interpol
arrested.
would be
He was arrested and charged.
But wasn't
a French judge decided that he wasn't fit to stand trial because he was legally insane.
Right.
So
he literally got away with murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The authorities.
He dodged that bullet.
The authorities in Japan wanted to press charges, but a loophole made it impossible.
Right.
And the French authorities never turned over any of the relevant documents.
Right.
So they sent him to this insane asylum, where he was eventually declared sane and signed himself out. So neither country ever actually prosecuted him. So
to get away with murder?
Yeah, literally, I guess.
That's mad.
And be really upfront about it. He doesn't hide it. He's not in denial. He's not trying to cover it up. He's
even calling himself a coward and being and I did this.
Yeah, apparently he's a real
Apparently he's just one of the great guys.
Not that.
Not that. The opposite.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a hell of a story. That is.
Well done.
That's so interesting. That's a really interesting one.
But yeah,
it's the complete opposite to mine. It's who killed them.
Yeah,
who did it,
but nothing happened.
But nothing happened.
Yeah,
it's got the same outcome.
Yeah, and I'd say he's alive doing interviews to this day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is he not like a danger to society?
No, apparently not. Like, because he's not, like, he's very, like, I guess he sees himself as quite in control of his, like,
Right.
it wasn't like he's not a serial killer, he's only ever killed this one person. Not that that's excusable, but, like, but he's not running around Japan where he lives now trying to...
Western
people.
So
yeah, it's a bit of a strange situation because he's not really proven himself to be a danger to society or a threat to anyone.
Yeah.
What year was this?
It was 1981, where it was the year that he killed the woman.
Oh my god.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Scary.
So he's been back in Japan for probably 25 years now.
Scary Mary.
Scary Mary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done, Pete.
Well done, Pete.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Right. My story is
I'm excited for
the
this one.
Madame Lalaurie.
Oh, wait, before we start, can I wash this speech off?
Of course you can.
Come on down to Grimsby High School, where the warlocks converse with witches and ghouls, learn spells and potions and contact the dead, and consort with the voices inside your head. So enter if you dare to Grimsby High School. We don't bite, but we can rhyme.
Go mad.
Yeah,
Hello,
it's a
everybody.
Scary story.
This is the Madame Lalaurie story, the cruel mistress of the haunted house. Ooh. So this is set. So it's in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Pretty.
Oh,
The jazz capital of the world.
Yeah.
So this was Coven.
This
series,
is covered. Yeah. So this is American Horror Story. Actually, it was a third series. Coven.
Yeah.
Was inspired from this. So. And basically, it's just called The Haunted House in New Orleans, and like everyone will know what you're talking about. So if you go like, "Oh, where's the haunted house?" They'll be like, "Right, it's like insane."
Yeah, right.
So yeah, now the bad guy is Madame Lalaurie. So in 1987, she was born. She's actually called Delphine.
That's a great name. I really like
yeah.
the name Delphine.
I know, Delphine. So she was from a wealthy family, and they had slaves. So she grew up with slaves. She was very used to it all. In 1800, she married a man with a very long Spanish name. I won't say because I've forgotten.
Right.
4 years later, they went to Spain on a holiday, and somehow he died on that trip.
Somehow.
No one knows how.
Oh.
So she went back.
A murder.
She got back, met another guy, married him, had 4 kids, so 1 boy and 3 daughters.
I wasn't waiting around then.
Yeah.
Oh, she was
Delphine.
not.
She doesn't.
Our Delphine. One was
she
called
fuck around?
Marie Louise. The other one was called Louise Marie.
No.
And the other one was called
No.
Marie Louise.
No.
Just in case you forgot the first one. That husband died.
Ooh.
Don't know how.
Did you marry again?
Yes.
Did she have 3 kids?
She married Mr. Lalaurie. This is, and then
Right,
she
right.
became Madame Lalaurie.
Lalaurie.
So, but he was 20 years younger than she was.
Oh, a bit of a boy toy.
I know, yeah, bloody hell. So they bought the big mansion together. She was basically the woman of the house. It was mainly like her money and all that. She was a wealthy family.
Right.
She looked after it. So they had a really bad marriage. Neighbours could hear them arguing all the time. He eventually moved out. And I think she just got angry and angry.
Right.
But he didn't know what was going on in the house.
Right.
Sorry, I keep burping. Sorry, guys. So her neighbours began to suspect there was something wrong because randomly the slaves would be replaced by new slaves, or slaves would just disappear.
Right.
Like maids.
Like
slaves.
When was this set?
1800. 18,
Oh,
yeah.
right, okay.
So the whole house, so they would like disappear and all that. And the whole house, all the slaves, so there was reported 35 to 40 slaves died or went missing in that house.
No way. That's a lot.
So this is really sad. So one of the slaves was a 12-year-old girl, and a neighbour saw her screaming with Madame Lalaurie chasing her with a whip. Basically, the little girl was brushing her hair, and there was a knot, and she kind of yanked it on.
It does hurt when that happens. I don't know.
I don't know if it justifies a whipping.
Yeah. So obviously it pissed Madame Lalaurie off. So she got a whip and chased her. They got to the roof, and either the slave was so scared she jumped off the roof, or she got pushed and she died. 12 years old.
Oh my god.
And now in New Orleans, people will see the ghost fall from the building, and they'll ring up the police like, oh my god, a little girl's just fallen off this mansion. And they'll be like, oh no, we get that like every week, it's a ghost.
Oh my god.
Wow. So yeah, pretty crazy.
Tell you what, if I wanted to murder a little girl.
Are you okay, Pete?
No. all this murder talk.
I know, bloody hell, the lights are red. There was a law saying that basically you can have slaves, but you can't treat them like shit. So,
it's a start, I guess.
Anyway, so after seeing that, authorities investigated what happened. They found out maybe she wasn't being the nicest to her slaves, and they sold the 7 slaves. I think it was 7. The 7 slaves they found in the house. They auctioned them off.
Right.
But Madame Lalaurie had her friends and family involved. So they bought the slaves, and then they went back to her, and then she bought them.
Thinking that you're going to get away from that family.
Yeah.
This is where it gets bad, okay?
Right.
April 10th, 1834.
Oh, she set the scene.
A fire broke out in the house, and they found out a cook intentionally started the fire. The cook was 70 years old, and when they entered the kitchen, the cook was chained by her ankle to the kitchen, like the stove or something. The cook ended up cursing them out, being like, why are you doing this? You know, we all want to die. Everyone in here wants to die. I was trying to kill us. I'd rather be dead than live here for one more day. So the firefighters were like, what the fuck? So obviously they start looking around the house for more slaves, find more slaves, and they're all like, they're really scared, being beaten up and all that. And then they said to her, they were like, right, we need to check the attic because we've checked everywhere. And she was like, no. Like, she was so adamant on not letting them go up there. So obviously she was like shoving away. So obviously they got suspicious. They get into the attic. So they find more than a dozen slaves chained to the walls and tables. Some were confined in cages like they were dogs.
Oh my god.
Bones were scattered around, and human heads and human organs were placed in buckets. Like
they all
jars.
dead? Were they all dead?
Not all dead.
Oh my god.
According to a newspaper, the victims were naked. Some of the women had their stomachs sliced open and their insides wrapped around their waist.
Oh.
One woman had her mouth stuffed with animal poop, and it was stitched shut.
Oh my god. You'd be sick through your balls.
This is what the men had their fingernails ripped off.
And stapled to their penises.
They also had their eyes poked out, and cocks were sliced off. Their male reproductive system, their penis. Yeah, they were sliced off. One man was found hanging with a stick in the top of his head that had been drilled in, and it had been used to stir his brains.
Oh my god.
This is all proper legit. The tortures were obviously done to bring slow and painful deaths.
Yeah.
Some people were still alive, and they were begging to get killed because they were just in so much pain. Here's some more. Mouths had been pinned shut. Hands had been sewn to certain parts of their body.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is really bad. There was one woman whose arms and legs had been broken and then chopped off, and she was still alive.
Oh my god.
Oh god. There was another woman who had been forced into a cage with all of her limbs broken off and then set again in odd angles so she looked like a crab.
Oh my god.
Eyes were removed. The one whose limbs were hacked off, they were still alive, and there were mutilated sex changes. A woman whose arms and legs were removed were also added, and with another person's arms and legs to make her look like a human caterpillar. One had their whole face removed. Tongues and noses and ears were hacked off. Our eyes and mouths were sewn shut. One had their intestines removed and then hung over them like a backpack. Another one was found with her back literally peeled off so you could see her tissue muscles. And this is the last one. Others were covered in honey and then covered with ants.
Oh, Jesus
So that
Christ.
is that story. So obviously...
That is horrible.
I know.
That's genuinely horrible.
It's the most haunted house in New Orleans and all that.
I'm
I think
not
they
surprised.
do ghost tours. You can actually go in
Oh,
and literally
no, fuck that.
because
I'd love to go.
they filmed some scenes in American Horror Story in the house, and they said they were like, no, they to like film some other scenes in other houses. They were like, it's just too. Yeah, so she got found out, and there was basically a load of all the people were just like, oh my god, like, we're gonna kill you. So she just fled to Paris and died there.
Wow. Wow. Thank God she died.
Yeah. So
how horrible.
That
I know.
I can't understand
insane.
a person's mind to make them like,
and she was like, everyone said how when they'd go to the markets and all that, how lovely she'd treat slaves, and they were like, wow, she's so lovely, like, and it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So
God.
and
That's
she'd
a
also
crazy
beat her daughters whenever they tried to feed the slaves.
Really?
Yeah.
Did her daughters know this was going on?
Yeah. Wait, I don't think they knew about upstairs, but as in like the slaves, like the cook and all that.
Right.
They obviously knew they weren't getting fed a lot, but yeah.
Damn, that's horrible. Wow.
That is a murder proper case, so yeah.
See, people say like the world's going to shit. Don't get me wrong, it is, but at least we don't live in a time where this is happening.
Yeah, like when you think about it, all of the
this is happening as much
murders.
as it was happening. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are parts of the world where this kind of stuff is still unfortunately a thing.
But a lot of the murders I listen to on podcasts and like BuzzFeed and all that, it's all before the 70s. It's all you wouldn't get that now. I mean, you probably would, but as in like documented, found out. It's just like what goes through people's minds.
Awful.
That's the thing I can't get my head around is like how you can like happily just inflict that sort of.
Oh, I know.
That like
and be okay with it and not tell anyone or just turn yourself in.
No remorse for it, just like, and then to just run away at the end of it. It's horrifying.
That's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because like surely she must have some.
I think she was just so heartless
to run away from.
And she would use some of the slaves' blood as like a face mask to make her look younger.
Oh my.
It's like, did you really believe that? Do you know what I mean?
It's horrible. That's genuinely awful.
So that is that.
That's a crazy.
That is why I wanted to go last in case people switched off like, ew, that's like 2, and then they got to mine.
So if you've made it through all this, congratulations.
Yeah, Jesus
congratulations.
Christ, well done.
Congratulations.
I nearly walked out.
You have no heart. No jokes, but this is serious. This is totally true.
Yeah.
This
crazy.
Yeah.
So
all
please,
pretty mad.
yeah, as you all did with the last episode, like, please let us know your favourite interesting murder cases.
If you also have any more facts on our stories,
we can learn.
or things that you think we got wrong.
Yeah.
Criticize us, educate us.
At Mom It's My Life on Insta. Let us know.
Tweet us at Mom It's My Life. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know what you think,
like,
guys.
before we wrap up, I don't know how long. Like, this is October. We're recording this. How long's that Christmas tree? Do you know?
Oh God, that's been up for nearly 2 years, Peter. Here's our Black Christmas tree.
Okay, so it's not like you've just put it up really early. No. It just hasn't come down.
It's Christmas every day in our household.
We've not even had Halloween yet, but
yeah, but it's like a
That's
emo
crazy.
Christmas tree.
it isn't. Well, I mean, I can't
and
tell.
it's got Tim Burton characters on as well.
The lighting in this room is entirely red, so I've actually got no idea what kind of Christmas tree is
I've completely lost all concept of what colours are going on right now.
it's very.
Apart
It's
from my laptop screen.
It's an extremely cursed environment in here. I think
I love it.
We've summoned a few ghosts already.
We have. Hey, let's do a Ouija board.
Absolutely
Oh my god,
not.
I would love to.
Not in this house.
I want to do a
one.
ghost hunting series.
Hey, do you know what we need to do? We need to go to one of Liverpool's ghost.
I would go and do one of those ghost
walks.
Yeah,
We should
to, like,
book
see,
it in
like,
because it'll be
spooky
because
things.
Annie was saying how good it was.
Yeah, I'd love
that
to
even?
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do that. That'd be a laugh.
Yeah.
I ain't afraid of no
I'll
ghosts.
quite happily stand at the back. See, the thing is, I like ghost stories and I like this kind of stuff. I think it's really interesting, really cool. But like, witnessing it firsthand is something I don't know if I like because I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could let it go.
Oh, but like for me, it's not like I wouldn't want to let it go. Then like I want something like that to be able to definitively say, like, even if other people don't
be like,
Yeah,
believe
but
It's
me,
if I
fucking
feel
good.
like I've seen something, I won't be able to get it out. Like I've seen some shit. And there's some things that I just don't forget, and
Yeah.
sometimes I'll think about them, and it's like horrible. But I just like, and that's the kind of thing that if I see something or if I get something in my mind, I know that I won't forget it.
Yeah, but what if, it's like the likelihood if you're doing one of these ghost things is like the worst you're going to experience is like a knock on a, or like a door swinging open.
It's the unknown. It's the great unknown.
Like, I don't know.
I went on a ghost hunt, ghost walk in New Orleans, and it was fucking sick.
Did you go to the mansion?
We must have. This was this is probably like 6 or 7 years ago, so I can't really. But I was like, this is.
Was it spooky?
It was. So cool.
See, if I was in New Orleans, I would go to like jazz bars.
Oh no, he did as well.
All right, okay.
I'd go to haunted jazz bars.
That's
where the best musicians
honestly,
play.
We should go to New Orleans
because they're just like tearing it up.
Oh yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, he's not dead.
Yeah, no, it just came into my mind.
Nor does he play jazz.
Shut up.
So guys,
yeah,
that's
it for season 1.
Oh my god!
It's been a blast.
Wow.
I've not been here for every episode, but I very much enjoyed listening and being a part of series 1.
Now it's basically us threes. Wait, us threes episode? Wait, our three?
It's your two, and I'm just gonna start throwing in some weird facts and shit.
Us three.
Us threes podcast.
The three of
ours. How'd you say
me,
it?
myself,
our threes. The three of ours pod. How'd you say it?
It's our podcast.
Yeah, it's ours. So thank you very much, guys.
The three of us.
We are very excited to shoot the next artwork.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's good. It should be around Christmas time.
And next season, we've got some cool stuff lined up.
Yeah, it's normal service resumed from season 2. We're not going to be doing ghost stories and stuff every week. We're going to be back to our normal chatting shit, probably drunk.
Hell yeah.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
We also, we've got some cool, we have cool guests such as Connor Ball from the Vamps.
Yes.
We have Harvey.
Yeah. We do have Harvey.
Blake from New Hope Club.
Yeah.
Sean from Royals.
Tristan Max said.
What a little edge. Love him.
And these are just in the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who knows
guys.
who else we could get?
Who knows?
We don't.
I think we should do a Ouija board.
I'd be so up for it, man. I want to do
Come on, Christopher.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna.
But what if we do it in Bron's house?
Not in my house. Can we do it in yours?
No, we're not doing it in my house.
Well, let's do it in Chris's car.
Yeah,
great.
No, that car's gonna fall apart as it is. I'm not gonna haunt it.
Just the backseat ghost.
And then like driving.
Darren.
You're right, Steve. How's it going?
Chris, Steve?
You should have taken the last left.
Last left.
Just randomly, the indicator comes on. Take a right.
Go through the red light. We'll make the car invisible.
All right, guys.
It's
been a blast.
Thank you so much for listening.
We have been.
Please share your friends. Share it around. Let us know what you enjoyed. What were your highlights of season 1?
Let us know.
What your highlights and what were the shite lights?
Yeah, the low lights.
The low lights. The highlights. Oh, yeah. I just highlights in here, but then it is highlights anyways.
Anyway,
bye!
Thank you for listening.
Bye! Thanks, Bonquisha.
Thank you for listening to the Mom It's My Life podcast. Bronnie and Pete are hobberknockers who forgot to end the podcast, so now I am here. I don't get paid enough for this job, man. Fuck.